of this station, nor its sponsors or affiliates. Any ideas, thoughts, and opinions from the host and others are designed to inspire conversation only. This station holds no responsibility for the validity, accuracy, or inaccuracies of information on this show. All questions, comments, or concerns should be addressed directly.
What's going on, Willis?
Sinclair Nicholson. The Sinclair Show coming up next.
Hey, Essie, man, Johnny, Essie, Willie, Renee Perry, what's going on? You out there too? Look, let me get the show on before I start all these names. Once again, it's on. You're listening to the only morning show. When, people?
At night.
That's right, it's at night. This is the Sinclair Show on WBISLP, Awesome Radio 106.9. It is the hottest station in the Carolinas, prime time. I ain't got time to play with y'all. Look, I want to thank all of y'all who continue to send your mailbag questions and comments to sinclairtalk@outlook.com. We're going to continue to address as many of these letters each night that we're on the air to reach you, the valued listener. The Sinclair Show is an interactive show. You can call in at any time, 252-756-2008, to be a part of the conversation. And sometimes you're going to want to be a part of the conversation tonight. Look, for those of you all in the Greenville, North Carolina area, and you're riding right now and you don't want to mess around and miss a beat, I know you don't want to miss a beat of the night show. All you got to do is, if you got your cell phones and you're about to get out your car, if you got an Android phone, go to your Google apps, download the Awesome Radio app, give it a few seconds, poof, you're going to be in the house listening to the same thing you hear on the show. Now, if you get in the house, you can't be on your phone because you might be creeping or got caught up in something like somebody I know. All you got to do is go in your house, get on your computer, go to www.wbisawesome.org, hit the stream tab, give it a few seconds. Magically, you're going to be in the house. That ain't enough for you? Don't worry about it. Go to Facebook. Some of y'all already out there on Facebook, and we're going to talk about it tonight. Now, when you're out there on Facebook, go to The Sinclair Show. Now, that's the one with the little heart on it. It means I love you, and y'all going to love me too. After I tell y'all what I keep hitting around to. All right? Now, so what I want to do is like I always do, because I don't want to kill up too much time. It's 8:02. I'm doing good. Let me call out everybody that's on Facebook right now, all the homies that roll with your boy every night. And remember, if you want me to shout you out on there on Radio Land, all you got to do is call 252-756-2008. People call in, tell me who you are, what city you rep. I got you. It's hot as I don't know what up in here. Y'all been blowing up my spot all night, but we about to talk about some things. Jay Dizzle, Johnny Key, the first one done perched up on Facebook. Essie Shepherd, my armor bearers out there. Willie Willis, that's my brother. What's going on? Renee Perry done came back into the fold with us. This is about the second time in a row she been up here. We must be doing a good job this week. Let me see who else. April Gray, the arch nemesis. There go my mama. Hey, mama. I got some things to talk about tonight. Let me see what else is going. Valerie Strayhorn Harris, glad to see you. JC, what's going on, girl? Beverly Key, what's up, fam? Glad to see you up here. Yvonne Rouse. I see all these people is out here. Somebody better call Sam Brown. Tell him it's going to be some good things up here on the show tonight. Camille, you want to say anything to the people? Because I got some stuff to talk about.
He is so fast tonight. Good evening, everyone. It is a blessed day to be here. We do have a lot of things that he wants to cover tonight, but he did miss two people. And you did Pamela Black.
I don't see Pamela Black. Pamela, you got to stop being undercover.
And then our son B is up here as well. Thank you guys for joining us, and I'm going to give it right back to you.
Well, I don't see Detective Pamela Black. When she pop up on my screen, she could get a little shout out, if you will. All right, people. Woo-wee. Let me tell y'all what's happening out here. See, normally I take my little first 10, 12 minutes and I navigate through what's going on in the world with the little TV and all that. But I got something tonight that doesn't seem to Trump himself.
Oh, okay.
Now, y'all know it's got to be something good for me to take my eye off the prize of Donald J. Trump and all of... There go Pamela Black Detective. What's going on? Hey, if you a detective, there's some things you've been missing according to my peeps out here in Facebook land. Wilhelmina McCall, glad to see you. Let me tell y'all what's going on. So, about midway of my wonderful day today, you know, everything was going lovely in life. I started getting some hits up on my phone. Bing, bing, bing. And I'm like, what is all the bings about around here? So then I get a call and they said, hey, man, did you see this situation going on? I need to get your opinion about it. I said, well, opinion about what, man? I got a working job. I ain't got time to be sitting around here just gallivanting. I got to earn my scruples, right? Let me tell y'all. So it appears, and I'm only talking about this, not because it's juicy news, not because we want to be on the cutting edge of conversation, but I'm only talking about it because I don't want y'all to have to even write me about it. I want to go ahead and nip this in the bud out the gate.
That sounds good.
This is worth at least 10 minutes of my life, all right?
Oh, wow.
So it appears, and I don't know if any of you out there in the internet world have seen it, but it would appear that there's an alleged pastor out here in some videos. And apparently the videos are a little risque, if you say that. But people been hitting me up because the pastor was apparently caught into some compromising situation.
Okay.
And it's gone viral.
Correct.
Okay, for those of you who are a little more seasoned, viral means it hit the airwaves and it can't stop running, all right?
Correct.
And so people want to know what I think about it, and am I going to shy away from talking about an issue? First of all, let me go ahead and break this down to you all. Let me begin by saying, if the allegations are true, and I don't know, because I didn't even know who this guy was. Now, I'm bold enough to say the man's name.
You might as well.
Because he out there all over the internet anyway. But the man's name is David E. Williams. He's allegedly a pastor down in Texas.
Wilson.
Oh, David E.
Wilson.
Wilson. I don't want to get it wrong there, y'all.
Right.
Because somebody out there might be married to David Lee or whoever. All right, so David E. Wilson is supposed to be a pastor down in Texas. All right. Now, let me say this. Because y'all know I don't really like getting in folk business like this. But here's the problem. First of all, let's clear the slate when I tell y'all Texas, folks, it's too much going on in Texas. Texas got killings. They got mass shootings. They got pastors out here who are tricking off on video. They got all kind of foolishness going on. And I need you all to understand that every time that there is an allegation against a man of the cloth, you don't have to blow my spot up to ask me what I think about it, thinking you could catch me up and hem me up in the box so you could run back and tell your people that I said that the pastor was XYZ. But this is an easy one. It's easy because the allegations against, what's his name again? David E. Wilson is one, that he's a pastor, two, that he is married, and three, that the woman in the alleged video, because I'm not currently watching it. Sam Brown is out there listening, glad to see it. But the allegation is the woman that he is in this compromising, less than favorable video with is not his wife.
Correct.
And people say, well, what's the big deal, Sinclair? That wouldn't be the first time we've seen it, and you're absolutely right. But let me start by saying this. If the allegations and if the video is accurate, he dead wrong. He dead wrong, not because he's a pastor out there doing it. That's one level of wrongness. He starts off being wrong. Why? Because this man out here in some videos out there straight acting the fool, allegedly. You got to make sure the show don't get in no trouble. But you done put your old lady out there, man. You out here wilding out. It's bad enough that you done serpentined your way into a situation of choice, if you will. But you got your wife out here looking just as crazy as all outdoors. All right? So that's the first way you're wrong. Now, yes, being a pastor doing it, you're wrong. Let me say this, people, so that I can clear all the levels, so I don't get a bunch of phone calls and hate mail. Okay? I'm not out here tripping on this dude because you all, and I've said this a million times, pastors, preachers, ministers, deacons, you, me, anybody else out here, we human beings. We do our best to do our best, but we deal with and struggle with the same things that anybody else does. Okay? It's you all, Johnny the public, that puts individuals on a pedestal that we don't deserve to be on. Okay? So you are the ones that get in your feelings at a super high level because a messenger, which is all that preachers are, a pastor happens to be leading one of God's houses, so he has a different level of responsibility, but it doesn't change him from being a man.
That's right.
Okay? And so all of y'all that hit the panic button and been blowing up my phone all day and sending me these little messages, let me say something to you. You wouldn't feel that way if you honestly read and studied for yourself, because you put him in a position that is greater than what God gave him. Just a messenger. Okay? Does it change his message? It shouldn't. Will it change the people listening to it? Potentially. Okay? But I need you to understand something. If you hit me up today because you thought I was going to come down here with some pitchforks and be all up in the foolishness that is, I promise you right now, David E. Wilson house is on fire. Not literally, but that brother got problems greater than what you and I can give him. Do I feel sorry for his wife? Yes. Do I have an issue with the lady who is in the video with him? Yes. For two reasons. One, because if he is the pastor of that church, ain't no doubt in my mind, because apparently it ain't no little small church. It must be one of some size for people to even know who he is. I don't personally know who he is. But you out here doing what you doing with this dude. Out the gate, you already knew he was married. But then you out here with the video game. Okay? You out here literally recording somebody. The only reason why you would take that phone, if it was a phone, and begin to record this situation is you had to have had the intent on publicizing it. So he definitely wrong. Why are you looking up in space, Camille?
You don't think he knew she was recording?
I'm going to say this to you. It is possible that he knew, but it's also possible that he didn't. He appeared to be doing his business, whatever his business was. Okay? But I'm saying this because she had the intent with the video of hurting his wife.
Now, I agree with that.
See, and let me say this, and we've had conversations on the show where I've talked about personal assistants, side chicks, whatever you want to call them. And there have been times when I've talked about the fact that they don't often get a fair deal about the way life goes and the emotions and all the stuff that gets caught up in there. But my issue today is this. If you assume that role, you're already wrong. Okay, so let me start by saying that. Because I know some of y'all gonna be like, well, he didn't say enough about him being wrong. You don't tell me how much I need to say. All you gotta say is somebody's wrong. You're wrong, you're wrong. But we can break this situation down. Okay, if you out there and you put yourself in this situation that you're dealing with somebody that you probably should not be dealing with, and your intent, the moment your intent becomes to hurt the significant other, I don't care if you're a male or female, now you're at a different level of disdain that you can draw from somebody because she ain't asked to be in that situation. Okay, that man's wife didn't know nothing about it. Shouldn't have had her business plastered all over the internet by you, who apparently thought this was some kind of game. Okay? So there's a lot of things that are going on. Now, JC is asking a great question. Has it been confirmed that it's not his wife? I don't personally know. I know the allegations out here that have been coming forward is that's not his wife. It would appear that even his son has stated that that individual in there is not his mother. Okay. So it apparently is not. Again, I don't know these people. I don't know enough about his wife's physical characteristics to know whether or not the person in the video is. What you got, Camille?
I have from the Globe and Tell. They say that when we were talking about the recording part, it says at one point he briefly looks up to the camera, which means he knows he was being recorded.
All right. Well, I ain't see. I can't testify to whether or not he looks up at the camera.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is this: the person in this situation who should never have even had to deal with this is the pastor's wife.
Absolutely. Because
she didn't ask for this foolishness one way or another. Okay? And so I need you all to understand, for those of you who maybe, because we got folks down in Texas, out in that area that listen to the show all the time. And I don't want to alienate y'all because y'all got some pastors down there doing some little strange things, right?
True.
But let me say this, people. The reason why I wanted to address this, people, we got to take a sponsorship break. Hold tight. That's my 10 minutes on that. No, not at all. People, we got problems out here. Has anyone seen the video?
Yeah.
Okay, JC, let me answer these questions for you. The video has been seen. It does not show any lady's face.
No.
And she said, if not, then how do people know that's not his wife? Well, JC, let me say this.
I'll send you the link.
The reality of it is his family members know for a fact that it's not his wife. They have responded. Matter of fact, they are attempting to say that it's somebody who has manipulated the video, and that's not really the pastor.
Right.
But everybody has confirmed that that particular lady is not the first lady.
As a matter of fact, they've given her name.
All right, so I'm just letting you know why you defending.
She is named.
JC, you tripping tonight. You are back on the Sinclair Show, WBISLP, Awesome Radio 106.9. It is the hottest station in the Carolinas. Prime time, the clock says it's 8:17. We haven't even got in the mailbag because we've been addressing the issue of the pastor, that his video done went viral. People been calling and texting and Facebooking and all that. And people, I want you to know something. As I was about to say before we had to take that sponsorship break, people, leave this family alone.
Right.
The pastor himself certainly will have to deal with his congregation, those people who listen to his message and are members of his church. He will have to deal with that piece. All right. The other side of it, though, is all of this continuously pushing this video viral and making the jokes about it. The only person you really hurt is the wife, who is the victim in this situation. Okay. You not hurting the side chick. She posted the video. Or at least she let it get off her phone. You're not hurting the pastor, because if it's true that he looked up at some point at the video, I don't know because I didn't see that much of the video. But if at some point he looks at the camera and knows she's recording it, you ain't hurting him because he knew that there was a possibility. Let me tell you something. There is absolutely no reason for you to be out here recording. It ain't no reason for you to be out here doing it. I can't say this enough because I know exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to get 1,000 more hits. You didn't explain it the way I want you to explain it. And this, and that. Here's what I'm going to say to you all. I don't do this show to make y'all happy. I do this show because I feel like it's a public service and we can talk about real issues that may help somebody. Okay? And the moment you don't like the way that I'm saying something, we can do it one or two ways. Either you can turn me off, or I can turn this off. It doesn't matter. It don't change what I do in my life. All right? But I'm saying this to you all because there's a way to handle everything. And sometimes we get so much glee, so much joy out of popping up and being a part of the message of something. Okay? I could have waited until next Tuesday for y'all to send me 100 more messages about it. But I said I wasn't going to do that. So I'm telling you this. Any of you all who haven't had a situation in your own lives where either you done cheated on somebody or been cheated on before, you may have the ability to sit around and second guess a few things. But the rest of us who have lived our lives and been through some things know that it ain't nothing cute about it. One, when you find out that you done been played. And it certainly ain't nothing cute about it when everybody out here in the streets know that you done got played.
That's right.
So if all of us that are so-called so spiritual and all this, if you're getting so much thrills and laughter and all this, something wrong with us.
That's right.
Now, I'm not no hypocrite. Be not crazy and thinking that it didn't trigger some thoughts in my mind when I'm saying, how did this fool even get himself caught up like that? Okay? But at some point as human beings, we got to get back to the point where we saying, why, and first of all, am I going to contribute to this lady's pain to the point where I'm pretty sure right now she can't go nowhere. Okay? I'm pretty sure she cannot go anywhere without somebody in that part of Texas confronting her or fake consoling her or whatever. Let's not drive her pain level up because of something that the side chick did, something that the pastor did. Okay? Don't knock down every pastor because one got caught out there. Okay? And I'm not saying he's the only one. But again, and I'll say this before I move on to something that's probably more important in our lives. You can't fault somebody because you put somebody on a pedestal that they didn't ask to be on. Most ministers and preachers and pastors don't ask to be exalted to some high level. They just want to do what God tell them and preach that word and get that message out there so you have an opportunity to determine whether or not you want to be on the same spiritual path. But you got all these stones that you casted. And you want to hit me up and you want me, all you wanted to ever hear me say was that I got a problem with it. And you wanted me to make some jokes about it. Ain't no jokes to be made about a wife or a husband who's been played and now their stuff is out there in the street. Okay? So I'm asking you all, if you're listening to this show, do me a favor. Don't be out here on the internet posting stuff that you want to keep this dragging out for weeks and weeks and weeks. Because it ain't but one victim in this situation, and that's that man's wife, and she don't deserve that. Okay? If you want to laugh about it, go down your own Rolodex, look at your own history, and remember how you felt when you got played. All right? We cool with that, people? And JC, you ain't talked this much since you've been on the show. JC done wrote about a whole paragraph. She said, anyone see? Oh, so they now how she looks from the waist. You know what, JC, I ain't messing with you. Go on in the mailbag.
Okay, this is one we didn't do the other day, all right?
What's that?
It says, Dear Sinclair.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on the Nike Jesus shoes that started out being sold for nearly $1,500 and now are being resold for more than $3,000?
Oh, yeah, all right.
Nike Jesus shoes filled with holy water sell for $3,000. The shoes are adorned with a crucifix, has a red insole, and are scented with frankincense, drawing spiritual inspiration from the Vatican. Okay?
Wow.
Have you ever wondered what if this is one from Gray News, okay? WWBT Gray News. It says, have you ever wondered what it feels like to walk on water? Well, lucky for you, Brooklyn-based brand MSCHF has you covered. The brand recently released a customized Nike Air Max 97 shoe that has holy water built into its soles, according to Cosmopolitan. According to the brand's website, the shoe contains 60 cubic centimeters of holy water sourced directly from the River Jordan. The shoes are also adorned with a crucifix, has a red insole, and scented with frankincense, drawing spiritual inspiration from the Vatican. A Matthew 14:25 inscription can be also seen on the sneakers, which refer to the passage where Jesus' disciples saw him walking on the water. Okay. The shoes were originally priced at $1,425.
Yeah, right.
But they quickly sold out. The shoes are now being resold for over $3,000. The question is this. Is that what the religious world is coming to, or is this a holy ripoff?
Well, first of all, people, let me tell y'all something. I done told y'all about these little gimmicks and these high-priced shoes, and that was before y'all started talking about they got some holy water in them. They got that tap water in them, people. Okay? Let me say this. I wouldn't care what you told me you could do in them shoes. I ain't giving you no $1,500 for it, and I certainly ain't giving you $3,000 for them. Now, for those of you who are buying them because you think that a pair of sneakers is going to help you get closer to heaven, you stupid anyway.
That's true. Okay?
Let me run this back to you. What kind of faith do you have if that you believe a pair of Air Force Ones with some water in the heels gonna get you closer to heaven? Some of y'all won't even get in the water and get baptized.
Oh, Lord.
Some of y'all won't even take communion. And you mean to tell me you out here breaking off $1,495 for a pair of shoes with water in the heels? Something wrong with your faith. Okay? See, that's what's wrong with spirituality. So many times spirituality will have us doing the dumbest of things.
That's true.
All somebody got to tell you is, you know what? This is going to get you closer to God. And if you roll with that, that tells me you ain't studying for yourself. Because you shouldn't be able to be tricked into $1,500 shoes thinking Jesus ain't wearing no $1,500 shoes.
No, he didn't.
So why you around here talking about you breaking off somebody 15? Some of y'all won't even pay tithes. You won't even give food to the neighbor across the street that's hungry, but you giving up $1,500 for some shoes allegedly with some water from the Nile River, the Jordan River, wherever else. Let me tell you something. You crazy. And if it was really out that river, it'd be all kind of bacteria in it anyway. All right? Look here, people. I got to take a sponsorship break. I ain't got time to be talking to y'all about no real Air Yeezys or whatever y'all calling them. When we come back, we're going to get back in the mailbag. This is the Sinclair Show, WBISLP, Awesome Radio, 106.9. It is the hottest station in the Carolinas. We are prime time. People talking about shoes. Look at my Facebook, people. Let me tell y'all this while we off the air. Don't y'all be writing me talking about no $1,500 Air Nike Jesus shoes. Really? This how we getting down? $1,500 shoes? Let me ask you a question. When is the last time, what you trying to hand me? When is the last time that you saw somebody, a random person, give $1,500 to somebody who had nothing to eat? When's the last time you saw somebody give $1,500 to a woman's battery shelter? Y'all don't even want to give that brother at the corner that says we'll work for food. You mad about giving him $3 out of your little console, but you willing to pay $1,500 because Nike told you they got some crucifix shoes. This how we getting down. See, y'all tripping, and I can't subscribe to it. Valerie said $1,500 shoes and no roof over your head. Absolutely. I mean, I'm keeping it real, and I'm not a hypocrite, and I'm not knocking with somebody who earns enough money to buy whatever they want to buy. You out here hustling, that's your money. I'm not telling you how to run your pockets. I'm just telling you, it's amazing to me how Christian spiritual folk get caught up in ignorance. That's all I'm saying. Don't be mad at me. I'm just a messenger. You are back on the Sinclair Show, WBISLP, Awesome Radio 106.9. It is the hottest station in the Carolinas, prime time, people. The clock says it's 8:29. We at the halfway point. We dealing with foolishness. Let me wrap this up. People, listen to me. If somebody can convince you with a ad that they have the shoes that will get you closer to heaven, why in the world would you pay $1,500 for them when you could get it for free? It don't cost you nothing to get to heaven. All you got to do is have some faith.
Salvation.
All you got to do to get to heaven is believe and verbally profess it. Believe it in your heart and mind. That's free, people. That's all you got to do. So if you thought buying them $1,500 shoes was the way to get to heaven, something wrong with your spirituality anyway. And that's the reason why we can always be tricked. Because some of you don't know what it means. You're not studying for yourselves. And you can be had by anyone. All right? Go on back in the mailbox.
Okay, this next one says, Sinclair Show.
Yes.
I'm disgusted to learn that the officer who killed Atiana Jefferson was not asked to go to do a wellness check like the neighbor who called was hoping.
Okay.
They dispatched these officers to a burglary.
All right.
All right. The neighbor who called it in said that he didn't say anything about a break-in. He told them that the door had been open since 10 p.m. and that ain't normal for them to leave their house or door open that time of the night.
All right.
The dispatch asked him if there was anyone home, and he told them, I don't know, but both cars are in the yard.
Okay.
He then said they usually home, but they never had both doors open. Even the former chief said that from what he saw in the video, nothing he saw would have led him to think a crime was in progress.
Okay.
Why they advanced to an extremely dark backyard area without at least ringing a doorbell or checking the entrance, that's extremely concerning.
All right.
Some officers, young officers, think that every call is an extreme risk or high profile call, he said. With seniority, maturity, experience, you can customize your mindset in approaching a lot of different calls. Sinclair,
yes.
Doesn't this former chief statement fall in line with what you were saying or said about people in law enforcement not either being ready for the job and or lacking the maturity to handle some calls?
Okay.
Why are they saying the officer of the law is not talking to the detectives? How does he get out on bail if he was charged with murder? This is signed by Black Lives Don't Matter to Blue.
All right, first of all, Carlinda Youngblood, glad to see you. Lisa Marie, what's up, girl? Glad to see you too. All right, people, let's go ahead and get this out of the way. Let me say this. It is an absolute tragedy that this young lady lost her life. We discussed this the other night. Mm-hmm. And to learn that the call itself was described to the police officer or officers heading out there as a burglary. This builds something about the entire system being broke. I do believe when you listen to what was just read, that an officer's mindset, now let me say this from the beginning. He murdered that girl. He deserves to be in jail. I believe that the legal system is going to see him go there. But the flip side of that is, let's talk about the real breakdown. The real breakdown is the callous nature by which an individual has the ability to impact the thought process of somebody going to do a job that's as dangerous as police officers have. If the guy across the street wanted a wellness check, and if wellness checks mean they knock on the door and try to see if it's anybody home, if everybody's all right, if you go there for a wellness check, you're thinking a little different. But if the dispatcher calls it in as a burglary, you or I or anybody else is going to be in a different frame of mind. Does that make sense?
It does.
Now, let's look at the other piece. It is said that people have made a big inference about her having a gun. She did have a gun. She had a right to have a gun.
That's right.
Because she's in her own house playing video games with her nephew. She had a legally owned weapon. And you or I don't care about you. I know for a fact what I would do. If I hear something, I reach right to the side of the bed, grab that heat, and I'm going to check it out with the pistol. Now, it was the officer's responsibility to address themselves as officers.
That's right.
Okay? You go to a window, and one of the bigger issues for me is it was seconds. They timed it. It was less than 5 seconds from the time he said, put your hands up, and start shooting. He never identified himself as an officer. What's going on, Adrian Jones? Glad to see you, my brother. Now, here's the issue, people. There's a lot of things that went wrong that night. The neighbor did exactly what he was supposed to do, but he feels guilty that the lady's dead because he called about the wellness. He don't have a reason to feel guilty. He did what good neighbors would do.
Right.
Now, while this has no bearing on whether or not she should have ever been shot, we do have to be mindful of how we have our houses. Okay? It's 2 a.m. Why your doors open at 2 a.m.? We don't really sit around at 2 a.m. anymore with our doors wide open, lights all on and doors wide open. That's the reason why the neighbor called. Because he said he knew the lady that lived there, and that was not her character at 2 a.m. to have the doors open. Okay? But this is about the police.
Right.
A police system that's not just in Texas. It's in a lot of different places. And I don't believe that the guy's racist. So I wish that my black folks would stop making it about race. Because I honestly don't even believe in 2 seconds he could have correctly identified whether the person was black or white. This man said, put your hands up, and shot. Okay? I think this is about individuals who are incapable of being in those roles and are too inexperienced to even be in that environment.
Okay.
There almost must be a process by which before you are allowed to confront these types of situations, that you have to be slow walk through a lot of these scenarios so you get a feel for how it feels to be in that type of critical moment. Mm-hmm. Let me address right quick the issue about should he be out on bail? Because I knew that was going to come up. The answer is absolutely yes, he should be out on bail. Why? Because the law says that he can. And if y'all do like me, do your little homework. I did mine. I went and researched it because I wanted to know exactly what the law is. The law says not only this officer, but any person who is charged with murder, that they can get in the state of Texas anywhere from a $5,000 bond up to $1 million bond and or no bond at all. And what determines if they get bond first is whether or not the individual judge considers them to be a flight risk. Second, whether or not the individual judge believes that they are a continued threat to anyone and or the community. 3, if they have a past criminal history. Those are the top 3 things. In every case that I was able to look up, on civilian side, not police officers, when that person does not have any criminal background, they get the lower end of the scale. So this person could have got as low as $5,000. He was actually charged with murder. I did go out to see to make sure that they weren't doing it. And if you go out on the Texas site, if you're looking on Facebook, you can pull up this report. They run this report every day. It's a sheriff's blotter report. And it tells what the individual is actually charged with on file. So, because I thought maybe they just put it up there. You see it's highlighted in yellow. That's his actual number. That's the whole 9 yards right there. So they are doing it by the book. All right. Doesn't mean that he's going to get over. Doesn't mean he's not going to jail. They are following exactly what the law says must be done. As a matter of fact, if you read the bail laws in Texas, it doesn't give the judge an option unless the judge can check these boxes off and say this person is a continued threat or has a past of it. You got to let him go. We got to take a brief sponsorship break. Sinclair Show, WBISLP. We'll be back.
Attention Android device users.
Margaret Board, what's going on? Glad to see you. Robin Williams, where you been?
Mobile devices.
But look here, so we ain't got to tarry too long on this.
Awesome radio, one word, space.
Let me show y'all something. That right there is that man's information. You'll see it says, what's that dude's name? Aaron Dean York. It shows that he got out on $200,000 bond. And it shows the date, who the bondsmen were. So all the information there. You are back on the Sinclair Show, WBISLP, Awesome Radio 106.9. It is the hottest station in the Carolinas. Prime time. It is 8:40, people. We got 15 minutes left. Let me finish this up. So the bottom line with this right here, people, is this. Look, we are going to have to let the system take its course. I believe that we have learned our lesson based on what just happened to the last cop that got 10 years. You can almost rest assured that this guy right here, because of the fact that he did not acknowledge that he was a police officer, because he did not follow protocol, when he goes to court, he will be found guilty. He is going to get some time. This is a tragedy. Let's not make it about race. Let's make it about what it is. The system is broke from the time that they get messages to the dispatcher, to these inexperienced officers who should not be having that gun until we can prove that they are ready. That's what I think. Going back in the mailbag.
Okay, this one says, Dear Sinclair Show.
Yes.
I was shocked to see a young man get sentenced to more than 15 years for a drug conviction, and he was not carrying any drugs.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. A man was sentenced to 15 years for cocaine possession in Oklahoma. It was powdered milk. Okay.
All right.
A man pled guilty to cocaine possession in Oklahoma only to withdraw his plea and have his case dismissed after it turned out to be powdered milk. Cody Gregg was sentenced to 15 years in prison last week after he pled guilty to possession of cocaine with intent to distribute, according to the court records. His guilty plea was the result of an August arrest and charge of trafficking illegal drugs. After a lab report showed a negative test for the drugs, he withdrew his plea, court records show. On Thursday, an Oklahoma City judge approved the request, leading to a dismissal the next day, according to the Oklahoman. Greg, 26, told the judge that the powdered milk was from a food pantry, according to the paper. It said that he was riding his bike on August the 12th when an officer tried to stop him because he had no rear lights. He pedaled faster, then jumped off his back and fled.
He pedaled faster.
Yes, he did. And officers found the white powder in his backpack, the paper said, citing an affidavit. Sinclair.
What?
What does it say when someone can be charged and sentenced to that much time before even testing the substance? Isn't this a race issue? Signed, Carol.
Carol, did you really ask me that dumb question, Carol? Carol, no, this ain't a race issue. First of all, the dude's name is Cody. Cody ain't no brother.
Well, a few brothers.
I don't know no brother's named Cody. So let's keep it real. Cody is not no brother in Oklahoma. Okay, let's start off with that. I'd be surprised. Matter of fact, if Cody is a brother, I'll eat a bottle of jalapenos.
Oh, right. Let me look him up then.
I'm telling you, Cody Gregg is not no brother.
Okay.
And this ain't got nothing to do with racism. Let me tell you what this is, people. Y'all know I had to keep it 100 with y'all. Sometimes y'all don't want to hear it. Hey, Ty, what's going on, girl? I hate to say it because I know that some of y'all out there going to be mad at me. But here's the truth. Cody Gregg is the luckiest drug dealer on the block. Cody Gregg was hustling. Okay? I don't care what the story says. He was in Oklahoma. He's a young white guy. He got played on a drug deal. First of all, let's run back what she said. Young Cody Gregg, all right? 26 years old,
correct,
riding his bike. Do we believe that young 26-year-old riding his bike just so happens to have a kilo of powdered milk from a food pantry in his backpack as the 26-year-old rides? When the officers put the lights on him, the most innocent 26-year-old pedaling his bike faster down the Oklahoma street drops the bike, drops the bag, and takes off running, and then turns around and pleads guilty to drug possession, by which he got originally sentenced for 15 years. Now let me let my little Anglo-Saxon homies know something. First of all, y'all can't play us with this ignorance. He was lucky as all outdoors. He was lucky because he had just went and spent all his money thinking he was getting a kilo of cocaine, and what he really got was some powdered milk. That was the best day in the world he got played.
Okay.
This man had already confessed. Yes, it was my drugs. Go on, give me my 15 years. If you knew you had just came from the food pantry, you would have told the police, this is powdered milk. I want you to drive me right back down to the food pantry, and they're going to let you know they just gave me this powdered milk. Cody Gregg was hustling. And he hustled the system because it turned out to be powdered milk. So all y'all that's sitting up here, and Carol, I just want to keep asking this question. Why we turn everything to race? You don't even know nothing about Cody Gregg, and you trying to say because the police charged a man and it turned out to be powdered milk that they must have did it for a racial issue. No, they didn't. I can tell you in my entire life, and I done traveled the world, I've never been anywhere rolling around with some powdered milk in a satchel on my shoulder, not driving, not walking, certainly not pedaling the bike faster and faster as the police come. I've never had that powdered milk experience. So you ain't gonna convince me to lose all of my aptitude because young Cody Gregg, the 26-year-old bike pedaling with the powdered milk, that pled guilty. See, that's why I really knew something was wrong. The moment she said he pled guilty.
He did.
Okay. First of all, nobody white whatsoever pleads guilty to a kilo of powdered milk if they know it's powdered milk. You want me to tell you what my Anglo-Saxon buddies do? No, I need to call Jim. Jim will be down here and square this away. Jim, please have them go test that right now because I know for a fact it's powdered milk because I just left the food pantry. And that would have been resolved. But he pled guilty. So all y'all that want to run this back and make it something other than what it was, he was just lucky. I'm telling you, Cody Gregg need to go play the lotto right now. He got that kind of luck. But we're going to move on because whether you like it or not, Cody Gregg, you's a hustler. Going back in the mailbag.
Okay, this last one for tonight.
What's that?
Sinclair Show.
Yes.
I want to get your view on this story about Sean Combs, who is dating Steve Harvey's youngest daughter. Okay?
All right.
First, I think it's disgusting that someone his age is even dating someone in her 20s. The next thing is she used to date or allegedly date his young son, Justin Combs. Okay?
Wow.
Sinclair, what do you think about a man who is dating his son's ex-girlfriend? Also, what would you do if someone Diddy's age was trying to date your daughters? Ain't that the same thing as a pedophile? Signed, Simone.
Sign who?
Simone.
Simone. Ain't you got anything else to do with your day? You gonna write me a letter. Nah, whatever. Thank you for the letter. I ain't thanking Simone for this foolishness. All the serious stuff going to work. She asked me, what do I think about Sean Combs dating Steve Harvey's daughter? How old is Steve Harvey's daughter?
She's in her 20s.
Okay. Well, at the beginning part of this, I could care less. Now, if you were saying that she was in her teens or whatever, yeah, I would say we need to go and lock up Combs. But he apparently is dating a grown woman. Now, let me say something to you. And I want y'all to understand this, because I'm just that type of real guy.
Here we go.
First of all, when you ask me, what would I think about somebody P. Diddy's age dating, let's say Dre in her 20s, right?
Correct.
First thing I would think, it would depend on the P. Diddy that you're talking about. Are you talking about Deshaun Combs that's worth $1 billion? Or are you talking about Deshaun Combs that's down the street that's worth $20? Okay? Because there's a difference. Okay? I'm being honest with y'all. See, y'all thought I was going to be a hypocrite and say something out the way. Now, Dre may have dated some people now that I don't like.
True.
Okay? But Dre is 24, getting ready to be 25, so I got to let her handle her business the way she wants to. I give her advice. Okay? I give her advice all the time. Advice she don't even want. But I tell her to, because that's my job. Okay? And so I always use the rule that when you get a certain age, I got to fall back just enough that I ain't got to shoot nobody.
True.
But if I'm being honest with you all, and if you all were to be honest with me, if the Sean P. Diddy Combs, you know, the one that's dealing with Ciroc and all the Sean Johns and all the bad boys and all that, if Dre ever bring that P. Diddy to the house, I'm going to fix that dude a drink. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Dre have dated some guys that ain't have $2. You think I'm going to be mad at her because she done accidentally caught a billionaire?
Don't put that baby out there like that.
I ain't putting her out like nothing, but if she catch him on her own, look, she done brought some fish to the table. We can all eat. I'm just saying. Look, can I get some ties from her? Look, P. Diddy, why don't you come on in? Sit down. Stay a while. Y'all acting like I'm wrong for that. Dre is getting ready to be 25 years old. I wouldn't like it, okay? Because I personally will probably always think she's too inexperienced to be out there with somebody Diddy's age. And that's the truth. Every man will feel that way.
Correct.
But you gotta admit, when is the last time your daughter brought a billionaire to the crib? I don't know. Haven't seen it yet. But I do believe if you saying you'd kick P. Diddy out the house, you telling a lie. You couldn't be telling the truth. Because you didn't kick them $2 dudes out. Some of y'all done let the scum of the earth come in the house with your baby and you done pretended like you was cool with them. Yes, you did. Some of y'all done known that your little baby girls was dealing with some thugs, you know, them DMX types. Now, I can tell you like this. I don't care how many movies DMX make, and I love DMX music. If Dre come to my house with DMX, I'm going to put these paws on DMX because I know there's a problem with DMX, even though I like him. Okay? But let's stop acting like we so judgmental. Now, let me tell you the last part of this. Sean Combs. Maybe every now and then somebody tell you to listen to the Sinclair Show. Check us out. Let me tell you where you are wrong. You're not wrong because you found you a 25-year-old blossoming young woman. Okay? If you single and she's single and you all are dating because you want to find out about each other, you ain't wrong about that. But let me tell you, punk, where you are wrong at. Okay? Because here's what I would never do. If I had a son and he had ever dated somebody, it ain't no reason in the world with all these girls out here and all that money you got that you got to go get somebody that your son have dated. Mm-hmm. That's where you wrong at.
Right.
See, people, I'm well-rounded with this. Okay? For Sean Combs, it ain't about his age. It's about his moral compass. What do you say to your son when he walk in the house and see that you in there kicking it with somebody he used to date?
Correct.
How does he have any level of respect for you? And what does it say about your thought process? Okay? Because I know you'd feel some kind of way if Justin Combs went out there and rolled up on J-Lo and decided he wanted to kick it with J-Lo. You'll feel some kind of way. You know, or what about if, what's the other son name? You got Justin and some other ones, whatever his name is.
Right.
You'll feel some kind of way if one of them was somewhere rolled up with Cassie. Okay? You'll feel some kind of way. Because you said you had feelings for those ladies. So what kind of father lays up with a girl that used to date his son? That's the problem in all this. It ain't the age.
Well, it's 27 years apart.
I don't care if it's 100 years apart. It ain't the age. Long as she's of a legal age. But that girl used to deal with your son.
That's true.
And you less than a man for that. And for that, he should have put them paws on you. Okay? Money ain't everything. Okay? It might be enough to get you in there on a regular situation. But that's your son. And your son ought to count more for you than any female that you're going to run up on in these streets. And maybe that's the reason why you can't handle no relationship with regular women, because you're always out there looking to manipulate and control. You should be ashamed of yourself, Diddy, because that was your son. People, look here. We got to hit you up next week. This is Sinclair Show, WBISLP.
Good night.
Call it what it is, people. Good night.